come to study because it has worked, I think that's when we'll have won. But if it doesn't work for us, then all the efforts will be dead. So I'm looking at that day where they say, please, can you come to Nigeria and tell us how did you do it in Uganda to work? And I think we can do it. And this is the opportunity which is right in front of us. We should also not forget that our major mandate is to train. As long as we can train our people and grow our industry, I think that's the ultimate aim we are looking for. I'll now take this opportunity to invite reactions. Can we take 5, given the time?
I appreciate what I've really heard about the Institute, and personally I've been involved too much in the Institute right from when it was being planned, the strategic plans and all that. So I pray that in this meeting, given the time we have, what we can do as per now is maybe to talk about what should be composed in the steering committee, which committees we should think about, and those committees will pave the way to go and solve all the gaps in the Act. Because we know the number of gaps, like what time do they want us to transform and all that, what should be the transformation like, all those, of course some of them have already been communicated as we're looking for the charter, but we need committees to sit and take up this, and I believe it is the stakeholders who have to start. Well, let's not wait for the minister to impose something on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to hear from Josh what transition period you would suggest in terms of moving from IIU to a college. What would be ideal, and how much time do we have to come up with a committee plan? And who should comprise in terms of the committee? I think we should appoint the people here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In preparation for the larger meeting, which I think is, like we have already said, is going to be very important, I just wanted to give very briefly some history to where it is that how we got here. The enactment of the Institute in the Act was, and I stand to be corrected, one of the main reasons was to give the authority the power to be able to remove association members from the board. Because after it was recognized, after the Institute was recognized in the Act, was when representation on the board of IRA by the Insurance Association, Brokers Association ended. Now, after that, we had the training levy. The training levy was in the Act, but there were issues as to how it was going to be managed. We were supposed to have regulations, and there were regulations which were proposed by the regulator, and we had, between the regulator and the Institute, a number of altercations as to how the regulations should be. And those ones kind of like, you know, died some kind of death. Now they are coming up again. Now this issue of transformation of the Institute into a college is again one of the other things that we had discussed before, which is why there was the composition of the Board of Trustees. And I think we're somewhere along the way, and this is my personal view, we're having an issue. I do not see why there should be a separation of the Institute and the college. Because we keep on, the way that we are talking, it's as if one is going to be subsumed by the other. The Institute has got its mandate. It's got membership services. It is a body that has got its structure. It's been in place. It's got a constitution. It cannot be then governed by a board of the college. The college is supposed to be there I don't see why we are assuming that these two should be separate. Now, these are some of the issues that, that I think that we need to go into. Because we are talking of the college, it's as if the institute is going to die. It cannot die, because the membership is there, the membership has to stay with its rights. The college, it's just like saying that we are starting one of these universities. So, that point of digression is where I'm having a few issues. But I think the problem is that in the Act, managing how the institute is in the Act and how it should be controlled is what is bringing confusion. What has always brought confusion is this issue of public funds, the insurance training levy, and how it should be managed. At some point, let me leave that. So the separation of the two is where we're having issues. And I think we need to have a serious discussion on that one.
Thanks, Geoffrey. Can we have the last submission?
Geoffrey has just proved that we are really confused, because we're talking about a transformation from the institute into a college, and Geoffrey seems to be talking about something like half a transformation. So I really do think that what we have now is the need of a serious project with a defined timeline, as Miriam has said. We need to say, we need so many months to carry out the transformation. And this is going to be the team that is going to manage this project, call it a steering committee, whatever it is. And obviously we can't do this this time. But also I would like to say that because of the importance of this project, it would be foolhardy for us to think that at this forum now, we can select the people on that committee. I think we need more time to do that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Can
I think the time required really depends on what our view generally is on what needs to be done. What needs to be done, there's going to be quite a lot of institutional building that needs to be done to ensure that the manner in which the finances are managed conform with PFMA. There may be need for further recruitment, since the entity is going to be the default training and certifying entity. Then the programs that it's currently not offering, it should be able to offer, or at least have a time frame where it identifies other bodies that whose training it respects, who shall be considered certified. So usually for that kind of thing, what acts like the FIA have provided for major changes, normally the period ranges from 3 to 5 years. So the committee can benchmark against what has happened in with the changes that have occurred in the banking sector, but 3 to 5 years is normally the period that's given for that kind of transition. But it needs to be entered into the regulations that come out.
Again, like you said, that was your personal view. This is also my personal view, is that we should not have two bodies. We should not have a college and an institute there. We've seen it somewhere and it brings confusion. Actually, normally the college, because it's the one which controls the money, eats up the institute. But we should see how do we fuse the two, where we can train, which is in the law, and also satisfy the members, okay, as one body. So that even if it's MOOBS doing its program, you still have to come to the college for certification to become a professional member. That's the way I would look at it. But I think that is still open to discussion. But I think the regulator put it very well, that this is a transition which is recognized in the law. So it's up to us to move as fast as possible. As you're aware, is that our governing council represents our members. I think it would be fair to start with us. We are going to have a meeting shortly and give you some suggestions on how we can have the steering committee, which you can still fit through, okay? Then we see then how do we do the roadmap how fast can we move? The faster we can move so that the regulator finds us ready, okay? Because even the regulator does not finish it herself. She has also still to go to the minister, and perhaps now even to parliament. So we should be ready. I think the issue is for us to be ready, not so. And make sure that all stakeholder involvement. And I think Joe says something that based on the contribution, it should be recognized. Okay, so that's something we should think about. That in this institute, who are the major stakeholders and are they well represented? Okay, that's something we missed out in the first constitution of ours. So these are the things we should discuss. And I think what is coming out clearly is that we should move fast. So I think GC, we have a challenge to come up with some document which can be shared by members, choose a steering committee, and we start work. I don't know if I sum it up very well. With those few remarks, I wish to thank you once again for honoring this function and our other functions. I remember the days when we used to look for CEOs in the meetings and they are not there. But now we have all of you with us, and I think we'll have a better institute going forward. Thank you very much.
What's happening right now that was happening in the forum.
Okay, thank you. What we organized today, we called together the industry players to discuss issues to do with the new law. As you are aware, the New Insurance Act was signed by, was assented to by the President. Now, it is time to implement. It is time to put into force the different changes in the law. Now, from the side of the institute, what we must advise, the law requires us to transform the institute into a college. Right now, the institute is a private institution, and in the coming period, we should be able to transform into a public college. Now, there are so many issues that come into play. There are so many issues that have to change because right from governance, management, the organization itself, management of funds and accountability, all these have to change. So we called members for dialogue to discuss the way. So the members represented included the insurers, the brokers, agents, the regulator, the insurance sector, loss assessors, all these are members. As it is today, the institute is a membership organization. It is owned by the members of the insurance industry. Now, these are views that give how to transform the institute into a public college. So, right now we've started the process of the transformation process, and we're being assisted by the transformation. We've agreed to set up a team to handle the transformation. The committee will guide on the roadmap on how to move forward. This is an issue that will not take a few months. Of course, we shall agree on a transition period, which we shall request the regulator and the minister to allow us to.
Yeah, as we look at this transformation, what issues are going to be affected over and above what's happening in the institute?
When you look at the governance of the institute right now, you have the governing council, which is elected by the members of the insurance industry. We have a board of trustees, which was specifically put in place to manage training levy, because the institute receives a training levy, which Now, what happens? The new law, the minister will appoint the board. The board will be the overall organ managing the institute. So we may not have issues of the governing council and board of trustees, but rather one body that will handle or oversee the governance of the institute, management of the institute, as well as management of the trade. In addition, when you look at the current structure, the appointment of the executive, when you look at the activities that are being run by the institute, all these are going to change. Now the college will have a bigger mandate, train, certifying. So we are going to have a bigger body than what currently exists. Thank you.
And when it comes to training, what does this go to?
Okay, when you look at, well, right now the institute conducts several trainings. It is actually in charge of training and certification of members. But with the college, the level of activity has to increase because more programs are going to be introduced, like more than what we are currently offering. So we are going to see more activities coming up, but also the accountability, the funds will change. Today, the institute is accountable to the members, and we usually account in the AGM where we come to the members, tell them what is happening, and then they approve budgets and accounts. In the new act, we shall be governed by the Public Finance Management Act, which determines the level of accountability as well as the process. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, about the decision that you've just made about, there seem to be gaps in the law that need to be bridged. What are some of those gaps and how should they go about it?
Well, what the law has done, the law has set in place the framework for the creation of the college, but it hasn't yet put in place a clear mechanism of how this college is going to operate, how the board is the criteria for which the board is going to pick, the role that the current members of the institute shall play in the college. So all of those are not put in place. The law also doesn't set out the kind of transitional period that will give to the institution to a college. Now that doesn't mean that the law is bad. All the principal laws do is set for them. The regulations that are put in place in future will have the details of how these things are going to be operationalized. So that's why this forum is very important. It's important for all the stakeholders to be aware of the issues, the key issues that they need to think about and have a hand. But I think on the whole, it's a good law. It is a good approach to ensure that this takes place. And the regulator has made it very clear that they will support the institute in the